Still waiting for closure? Stoics never needed it. Here's why. It wasn't the breakup that hurt the most. It was the silence after. No explanation. No clarity. No closure. Just the door closed. And you left standing there, still holding all the questions. What happened? Was it something I did? Don't I at least deserve an answer? If you've ever found yourself replaying that ending, writing and rewriting what should have been said, you're not broken. You're human. But here's the uncomfortable truth the Stoics knew. Closure isn't something you're given. It's something you create, within. Because every time you wait for someone else to give you peace, you've already handed them your power. Welcome to True Stoic Mindset, where we learn to stop waiting for apologies, explanations, or final words, and start choosing inner clarity over external validation. In this video, you'll discover why the Stoics never needed closure, and how that mindset can set you free from the stories you keep replaying. Because the ending doesn't define you. How you carry it forward does. What we really want when we say we want closure. Let's be honest. When we say we want closure, we don't just want understanding. We want something deeper. We want justice. We want acknowledgement. We want control. We want someone to look us in the eye and say, "Here's exactly why I hurt you. Here's the part that wasn't your fault. Here's why you didn't deserve what happened." But most people won't do that. Because they can't. Or they won't. Or they never even saw the damage the way you felt it. And that's what hurts the most. Not just the ending, but the lack of resolution. So we chase closure like it's a destination. One more conversation. One more message. One more explanation, and then we'll heal. But here's what the Stoics would ask. If your peace depends on another's words, is it really peace, or dependency? Marcus Aurelius reminded himself. You have power over your mind, not outside events. That includes other people's honesty, their apologies, their ability to make things make sense. Closure, then, isn't about answers. It's about acceptance. Not accepting what happened was right, but accepting that it did happen. And you don't need someone else's permission to move forward. In the next part, we'll explore the moment the Stoics realize. Closure isn't something you wait for, it's something you reclaim. The Stoic realization, closure is an inside job. The Stoics lived in a world full of betrayal, exile, loss, and silence. Marcus Aurelius lost children. Seneca was forced to take his own life. Epictetus was a slave, crippled by his master. None of them got closure. They got something more powerful. Inner clarity. Marcus never wrote, "I wish they told me why." He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Because waiting for someone to explain why they hurt you, why they left, why they changed, is to wait for healing from the very hand that wounded you." Stoicism flips the script. It teaches, you don't need someone else to wrap up the story. You need to stop rereading the same chapter. Closure isn't a conversation. It's a decision. A decision to stop expecting resolution from the person who caused the confusion. A decision to say, I may never know why, but I know I won't keep bleeding just to understand. The Stoics chose stillness over closure, presence over explanation, power over victimhood. You don't have to pretend it didn't hurt. But you don't have to wait for them to make it feel okay, either. In the next part, we'll explore the trap. How chasing closure actually keeps you stuck in the pain you want to escape. The endless loop, why chasing closure keeps you stuck. Every time you say, "I just need to understand why," you reopen the wound. You revisit the pain, replay the conversations, reinterpret the silences. And somehow, you think that if you just find the right reason, you'll finally be able to let go. But here's what the Stoics would tell you. Chasing closure is chasing a moving target. Because the closure you seek isn't about the truth. It's about trying to make sense of someone else's chaos. And you never will. Because maybe they don't even know why they left. Maybe their reason keeps changing. Or maybe they simply don't have the capacity to tell you. And so you wait. For the perfect explanation. For a letter that never comes. For a moment of accountability that may never arrive. Meanwhile, your present is being lived in the shadow of a ghost. Seneca wrote, "He who suffers before it is necessary, suffers more than is necessary." Chasing closure makes you suffer twice. First in the loss. Then in the endless attempt to understand it. But there's a better way. In the next part, we'll shift that focus. From seeking answers to reclaiming truth. Because sometimes, the real freedom begins when you stop needing to explain the ending at all. Detach from the story, accept the reality. The pain isn't just in what happened. It's in the story you wrote about what happened. You didn't just lose the relationship, the job, the opportunity. You told yourself, "I wasn't enough. I must have ruined it. If they had truly cared, they would have stayed." But here's the Stoic intervention. Reality is neutral. Your narrative is optional. Marcus Aurelius said, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." It's not denial. It's discipline. The discipline to see the event without the added suffering of interpretation. The breakup happened. The friendship ended. They ghosted you. Yes. That's the reality. But the rest, the blame, the shame, the obsession, that's the story. And the moment you detach from that story, you reclaim power over the only thing that matters. How you live now. The Stoics didn't argue with the past. They studied it, and then stepped forward. Because every moment spent analyzing why is a moment lost in the present. Ask yourself, if I drop the story, what's actually true? Usually it's something simple. Painful, maybe, but simple. And once you face it, you're free to move forward. Not with closure from them, but with clarity from within. In the next part, we'll explore how finality, even without resolution, can be your most dignified exit. The power of finality. You don't need their words to move on. We grow up believing every chapter needs a final sentence. Every goodbye should come with an explanation. Every ending should feel complete. But life rarely works like that. People leave without warning. Jobs end without thank yous. Stories close mid-paragraph. And so we wait. For a message. A call. An apology. Some final word that signals, now it's okay to move on. But here's the truth the Stoics lived by. You don't need their words to write your next chapter. Marcus Aurelius faced betrayal in his own court. He didn't demand closure, he acted with composure. Because real dignity isn't found in what others say. It's found in how you choose to walk away. Finality isn't something they give you. It's something you declare. You say, "This ends here." Not because I have all the answers, but because I've chosen to stop asking. That's not avoidance. That's self-respect. And that respect becomes the foundation for peace. You can honor the past without waiting for it to make sense. You can leave with quiet strength, even if no one claps. You can move forward. Not because they made it right, but because you did. In the next part, we'll talk about the final shift. How to let go of the unanswered and choose peace instead. Let go without answers, choose peace instead. Letting go doesn't mean you're okay with what happened. It means you're done letting it define you. Because healing isn't about justice. It's about freedom. And sometimes, freedom means walking away. Without the explanation you were hoping for. Without the apology you deserved. Without the ending that made sense. The Stoics didn't wait for closure. They made peace with not knowing. They trained their minds to let go of the need to understand every wound before allowing it to heal. Epictetus said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." That includes their side of the story, their guilt, their reasoning, their regrets. You can carry wisdom forward without carrying weight. You can let go, not because they freed you, but because you chose to free yourself. Closure is a craving. Peace is a principle. One depends on them. The other begins with you. So ask yourself, am I holding on because I need to? Or because I'm afraid to be done? Because peace isn't something you feel first. It's something you choose first. And then feel later. In the final part, we'll bring it all together. And show why letting go without closure isn't a compromise. It's your liberation. Closure is a myth. Clarity is a choice. Closure is what we beg for when we don't trust ourselves to move on without it. But the Stoics never begged. They chose. They chose clarity over confusion, presence over obsession, action over endless analysis. Marcus Aurelius never asked, "Why did this happen to me?" He asked, "What can I still control within me?" That's the shift. Closure is a myth, because it assumes someone else holds the key. But clarity? That's yours to claim. You don't need them to explain it. You don't need to understand it all. You just need to decide. This chapter is done. I'm not. You're still breathing. Still growing. Still becoming. And the moment you stop waiting for the final word, you begin writing your next one. If this video resonated with you, subscribe to True Stoic Mindset, where we don't chase peace. We practice it. We live it. One grounded thought at a time. Let go. Not because you're weak, but because you're wise enough to stop asking questions that don't lead anywhere worth going. You're not waiting for closure. You're walking into freedom.